wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
We are going to be doing a study together today on education. Gorgeous. Let's go to the find it. Our kind and loving Father, most gracious Father we ever had, and most caring Father we have at this hour, dear Lord, as we are going to study this important subject that involves all of our lives, everything about us, our future, and what we will become. May you please be with us and help us to understand that everything that you tell us, it is because you love us. You care about us more than we care about ourselves. Help us to see things through your eyes so that we will be able to be better than we were yesterday. May your grace indeed be sufficient for every one of us. Nothing has been done that was not consulted with you. We ask that, dear Lord, indeed, you may bless each and every one of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Yes, the topic today is obedient marriages and the three angels' messages. Obedient marriages and the three angels' messages. all of us want to get married, isn't it? It's important, eh? Important, eh? There's anyone who says, Mina, I'm fine. Here's it. All right, congratulations. Congratulations. Maybe the lesson is not for you, but yeah. We're going to study forbidden marriages and the three angels' messages, yeah, and how these things correlate together. Now, the Spirit of Prophecy says in letters to young lovers, page 32, paragraph 1, love is power. Love is power. Intellectual, moral strength are involved in this principle. Love is what? Is power. Intellectual and moral strength are involved in this principle and cannot be separated from it. So you cannot separate the intellectual. When someone is intellectual, it's someone who's smart, isn't it? Someone who knows what to do. And so that intellectualism that you use when you are at school, you cannot separate it from love, and also moral strength as well. Those things are involved together. The power of wealth has a tendency to corrupt and destroy. The power of force is strong to do hurt. But excellence and value of pure love consists in the efficiency to do good and to do nothing else than good. There is no overloving. You understand? You can't say I'm overloving someone. You can exert strength until you hurt someone. You understand? Even the power of wealth, they say it has a tendency to corrupt and also to destroy. So the more money people have, the more they lose their salvation, isn't it? We have seen people who have lost salvation over simple things like a pot of lentils. Someone gave up everything. Like you can lose your salvation just by simple things that you are waking. And all of a sudden, God seems no longer valuable in your life. So you can lose God by that. But you cannot, in anyhow, overlove someone and say, I've loved this person until this person was corrupted, isn't it? So it's a wonderful thing. Love indeed is power. It has its principle. The reason why God gave us love was so that it can do nothing else but good in the world. It's supposed to do nothing else but good. Love is in that fashion that when you truly have it, there is nothing bad that it's going to do for you, only but good. Whatsoever is done out of pure love, be it ever so little or contemptible in the sight of men, is wholly fruitful. For God regards more with how much love one worketh than the amount he doeth. You understand? So God regards what you do with how much love you put into it, isn't it? Than with what? Than with the amount of work done. I don't know if you understand that principle, right? That's why with the gifts that people give each other, it's not in the expensiveness of the gift, isn't it? It is the thought, the love that consists in that thing that makes the whole experience much more beautiful. So it is with God. It's not the amount of work that you do. It's the principle of love that is in this thing that you are doing. The principle of love. So that's why love is power. Now, we are going to go to Adam and love. Now, Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 to 25. You can see it, right? Yes. It's visible. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 to 25. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. Now, notice, very critical of the words. Who says it? It's the Lord. So the Lord said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever he called them, he called every living creature. That was his name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helpmeet for him. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept and took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead
thereof. Ne? And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. Ne? Now, God is the one who saw that something is lacking in a man, isn't it? They lacks what? A helper, a helpmate for him. Ne? And then God himself decides. Did Adam suggest anything? No, there was no suggestion from Adam. Ne? Adam never said, I think this is what we need to do here, Lord. You understand? Ne? And that is very critical. All those steps are very critical in these. Ne? And then God now causes Adam to fall asleep, and out of him he takes a rib and he makes a woman, and he brings her to the man. Who brings the woman to the man? Oh. It's God. Ne? Yeah, there is that principle there where God has to take this woman and brings her to the man. Ne? And Adam said, this is now the bone of my bones. This is the first time Adam is speaking. Ne? This is the first time Adam is speaking. He says what? This is the bone of my bones. Ne? So if God really intended that you should be unhealthy, ne? This could have been this part. Adam should have said, hi man, maybe she could have come in a different format. This is not what I had in mind, isn't it? Ne? But no, this is the first time Adam speaks, and he said, this is now the bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife. And they shall be what? One flesh. So do you see the principle there? God brings the woman to the man, and he is the one who makes the woman for the man. And after that, he takes the woman and he gives her to the man, and he says, now you are going to be what? You are going to be one flesh. Ne? Both shall become, you are going to leave father what? And mother, and you are going to become what? One flesh. Ne? That is very critical in understanding how important is this issue. That when you are joined to someone, you become what? One flesh with that person. God regards you as one person together. The unity that must exist between the two is so supreme that there is nothing else that can cover it. Ne? Now, and they were both naked, and man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Both naked, man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Ne? All right. If men and women are in the habit of praying twice a day, if what? Men and what? Women. Is it saying if boys and girls? Huh? It's not saying boys and girls, ne? It's saying what? Men and women are in the habit of praying twice a day before they contemplate marriage. While they are sitting there as a man and as a woman, and you are in the habit of praying how many times a day? Twice a day, ne? They should pray 4 times a day when such a step is anticipated. When such a step is what? Anticipated. Ne? It's not even something that we have started to say, we are in a relationship, now let's pray 4 times a day. Ne? It's when you are anticipating that step, you should be what? You should be praying 4 times a day. Does this mean this is very serious? Ne? Marriage is something that will influence and affect your life both in this world and in the world to come. Its influence is so far-reaching that when you meet this woman, she takes hold on eternity for you. Or when you meet this man, he decides even how you are going to enjoy the rest of your life from now on, and how you are going to make it even into the world to come. Would you be careful if you want to do something like that? You should be very careful. A sincere Christian will not advance his plans in this direction without a knowledge that God approves his course. So it's not possible that you can just sit there and decide what to do on your own and say, Mirane, I'm going to decide what to do here and I will do it on my own. Remember, even Adam, the most perfect being, could not just sit down there and decide what he's going to do with the fact that he does not have a wife. It was God who saw it. And God initiated the deed. And God did everything. And he's the one who gave the woman the wife. He's the one who gave over him. You understand me? It's very critical, brothers and sisters. We understand our role here it's very critical that we understand what our role is. Now, you will never, a sincere Christian will never advance his plans in this direction without the knowledge that God approves his course. So you don't move until you are sure that God says you can have it. Before that, any movement in that direction is a disaster. Ne? If there is any subject that should be considered with calm reason, you know, if you do something because you are in a hurry, no, this time you must do it with calm reason. They must be sitting down properly with your thoughts, and you think about this whole issue. Before you even go and approach someone, it should be considered with calm reason and unimpassioned judgment. Where your judgment is if it is the subject, it is the subject of marriage. If ever the Bible is needed as a counselor, it is before taking a step that binds persons together for life. If ever the Bible is needed as a counselor, if you ever needed the Bible ever in your entire life, before you make that step, you need to know what says the Lord with these things. It is an enterprise that you don't just get into without properly understanding what you are doing. Are we together? Mm-hmm. If you have any question, you can raise your hand. Brother Walter allows us to talk. If you have got any question, you can raise your hand. If you have got any comment, you can also raise your hand. I will decide if I point you or not. Yes, you are allowed to raise your hand. I will make the choosing. If those who are contemplating marriage would not have a miserable and happy reflections after marriage, they must make it a subject of serious, earnest reflection now. It is not something that we just do because we are capable. It is not something. This step taken unwisely is one of the most effective means of ruining the usefulness of young men and women. Mm-hmm. They can ruin your usefulness and render you nonsense. Nothing. If you want to see what this issue can do to you, can find you a noble young man and turn you into something else that you've never believed you could ever be in your entire life because of marriage. That part can ruin your life. Can ruin your life that you don't know what is happening. Life becomes a burden. A curse. Because of marriage. Yes. Someone who says they love you, life becomes a burden. You feel it. I'm carrying a burden. When you wake up in the morning, you would wish it was sunset. And then when it's sunset, you would wish it was in the morning. Because of marriage. You understand? It becomes like carrying a burden and a curse. That's why this one is not one of the things that you should feel pity for someone. You can't marry someone because you feel pity for them. What will I do? What will I do? What will you do? You will realize what you will do when you are now married for a lifetime and there is no change. This marriage is so cruel that when you are married, it changes. The more unhappy you are, the more God says, yeah, I hear you. I hear all your problems that you have. Yeah, but go and stay with him. He abuses me. He doesn't treat me well. He's very... I hear you. I hear you. Go and stay with him. But Lord, can't. And unfortunately, at that time, that man is not even cheating. And you feel like, I wish he could cheat so that I can leave him. And then he cheats and you don't find out. You feel like, man, I wish this person could cheat so that I can leave him. And that will not happen. No one can so effectually ruin a woman's happiness and usefulness and make life a heart-sickening burden as her own husband. No one can do 100 parts as much to chill the hopes. Listen carefully, to chill the hopes and aspirations of a man, to paralyze his energies and ruin his influence and prospects as his own wife. Huh? No one is able in this life to stop you from succeeding than your own girlfriend. She is very capable of making sure she renders you paralyzed. She paralyzes his energies and ruins his influence and prospects as his own wife. It is from the marriage hour that many men and women date their success or failure in this life and their hopes of the future life. If then I am to make a decision here, I really need to be careful. You really need to be careful. It is one of those steps that should not be taken by boys and girls. It will ruin your life. It will ruin your life. It will chill your energies. You know, when you don't have a reason to wake up, you don't have a reason to do anything, it will chill. You will feel like doing nothing. You will not become successful in anything that you undertake because of this part of marriage. Then you don't want to go there like a chicken. You know, you just wake up and go there. And we just hear, no, they're married. I wish I could make the youth see and feel their danger, especially the danger of making unhappy marriages. It is not something you would really want to do. Instituted by God, marriage is a sacred ordinance and should never be entered upon in a spirit of selfishness. Those who contemplate this step should solemnly and prayerfully consider. Those who contemplate, those who are thinking about it, should what? Should solemnly. So can you do these things if you are not a Christian? It's not possible. Should solemnly and prayerfully consider the importance of seeking divine counsel, that they may know whether they are pursuing a course in harmony with the will of God. The instruction given in God's word on this point should be carefully considered. So there is no person who should be in a relationship before they study their Bibles. Do you understand? From both sides of the equation, all of you must have studied what? Your Bibles. Very well, very clear. Now, I ask you, can a non-believer study their Bible? No, then marriage is not for them. God never intended that an unbeliever should be married. Not even one. It's not God's intention. It's only made for Christians. Because Christians will study God's will first before they look for a life partner. The heaven looks with pleasure upon a marriage formed with an earnest desire to conform to the directions given in Scripture. Now, there are some of us who form marriages not on the Bible, but because you slept with him. Then from that day you must think about it. What should I do with this man? I love him or not? Terrible, brother. Terrible. Now, these are things, I wanted us to consider them, very important. These are things that cause the youth to look for marriage early. The youth are looking for marriage early because of this part of the Bible. And the Lord said unto Moses, saying, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of what? Egypt. Let's be together. Yes. After the doings of the land of what? Egypt. Of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do? So you can't do an Egyptian lifestyle in the things of what? Of God. Alright. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall ye not do? Neither shall ye seek into the neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep my own ordinances and walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do it, he shall live in them. I am the Lord your God. So God is telling us that you cannot rely on an Egyptian lifestyle if you want to make it in marriage. You cannot rely on a Canaanite lifestyle if you want to make it and behave. In order to really behave and truly enjoy your life, you must consider what the Lord says. Are we clear? Are we clear? Ne? So, from here you can just tell, ne, this thing is too holy, man. This thing is too holy, ne, to be done, ne, by just a mind that is not thinking properly. A mind that is not there, that is just does this thing casually. Ne? Now, what do the Egyptians do? Now, let's look at it. What do the Egyptians do? You shall not, none of you shall approach to any that is near kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. So, Egyptians, they sleep with each other. Ne? Huh? Someone who is a relative, it's fine. It's an Egyptian lifestyle, Canaanite lifestyle. Eh? The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother, thou shalt not uncover, she is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Huh? Eh? So in Egypt, eh, a son and a mother can what? And sleep together. Right? The nakedness of thy father's wife, thou shalt not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, eh? The daughter of thy father, the daughter of thy mother, whether she is born at home or born abroad, even the nakedness, thou shalt not uncover. You are not even supposed to sleep with your stepsister. Do you understand me? Because Egyptians and Canaanites, they do that. They say, isn't it you and me? We're not really related. Yeah. It's my mother and your my father and your mother are the ones who are related. Me and you, aye. You understand? This is an Egyptian lifestyle. We cannot do these things. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, of thy daughter, even the naked, that thing thou shalt not uncover. For theirs is their own nakedness. So you understand how terrible is the lifestyle of the Egyptian and the Canaanite. Now, as we are sitting here, you have uncovered already these things. And God says, a priest must marry a virgin. You know that, right? A priest must marry a virgin. It's in Leviticus 21 there. Let's check it. A priest must marry a virgin. But you're not only a virgin, when mentally, you finished. You have uncovered your mother by pornography. You watch pornography, you uncover your mother, your sister, your brother, everyone. You have prepared yourself by living a life of rudeness. And that is why our eyes cannot cease from stupidity. That's why when you walk, you just see a woman, then you want to marry, because what? We've been trained by these things. With the gadgets we're having, brothers and sisters, and we can't stop you from having gadgets, isn't it? It is almost impossible to say let's not have gadgets, but those gadgets are bringing forth a flood of evil. And we are living an Egyptian lifestyle, and we are hoping for a happy marriage. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. You will read it on your own, and all those things. I will not be able to read everything. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is what? An abomination. Hey, the Sumizi lifestyle is an abomination. It is never acceptable before God. Even if it's popular with the Egyptians, it's fine. It's with the Egyptians. But God says, hey, I have taken you out of Egypt. Don't do what the Egyptians are doing. Even with the Canaanites, don't do as the Canaanites do. We cannot live this lifestyle and be children of God. It is impossible. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. For in all these things the nations are what? Are defiled. How much of the nations are defiled? All the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. And the land is defiled. Therefore I visit the iniquity thereof upon it. And the land vomited out the what? It's the inhabitants. The inhabitants. So God is saying, this is the lifestyle of the world. You understand? This is the lifestyle of the world. The world is so corrupt that by the time you reach 15, You are already an expert. You are finished, man. You have finished everything. There is nothing anymore for you to do. Ne? It's just look at the way you're looking at me. Ne? Oh, yeah, ne? Now, Revelation chapter 14, verse 6 to 12. Ne? Revelation chapter 14, verse 6 to 12. It says, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven. Listen carefully. I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, fear God, ne? And give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is what? Is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So God is telling us something in verse 7. He says what? Saying with a loud voice, fear who? Fear God. So it means a relationship must be formed in order to do what? To fear God, or in the fear of God. Forming a relationship outside the fear of God, it is going to be a terrible disaster. And it must give glory to God. A relationship, you must always know what is the purpose of the relationship is to fear God and to what? And to give glory to him. Because what? The hour of his judgment is come. What is involved in the hour of his judgment is come? God's law. Right? God's law is involved. Which law specifically? Thou shalt not what? Commit adultery. So if you have been committing adultery by yourself, alone, when you are an individual, is it possible to get into marriage to fear God? No. And if you have slept with someone, you have created a state of things where that person cannot trust you. If I sleep with you before marriage, I have created a state where I can't trust you. And you can't trust me. Because me and you, the two of us, are able to violate the law of God. Do you understand? So, I know that Brother Ntako is not faithful. And no one can tell me otherwise because I know I slept with him. And he knows that sister who cannot be trusted. And no one can tell him anything. Because why? He slept with the sister. To violate who? God's what? God's law. So God's law is violated. When God's law is violated, it is impossible to keep the three angels' message. That family cannot even take the... Because right now we are in a missionary work, right? Now, when you see your spouse with someone else, you go, that person cannot be trusted. Can't trust him. He is a sinner, that one. That one cannot be trusted, man. We are here for missionary work, You say, man, he must sit here with me because he can't be what? He can't be trusted, this one. Because you have slept with him, isn't it? You know it. Well, this fool that is here cannot be trusted. So you must keep him on a leash, Because he cannot be trusted. Because why? You have violated the commandments of God together already. You have helped each other to break God's commandments. Now when he says he loves God, you know he's a liar. So you can't trust him. Because you have created a state of things where you cannot trust each other. When you violate the commandments of God will violate you more than you can ever imagine. And your life is ruined. When you are away from each other, you don't know what that man is doing. In your mind you go, I don't trust it. Because of an Egyptian lifestyle, we start already with movies that we watch. The things that we are training ourselves with are preparing us for what we are to become. So the devil has already set us up for failure. Who says yeah? God hates what? God hates what? divorce, ne? God hates divorce, ne? Oh, so who loves it? The devil, ne? So it should be God knows. God says, hey, there is nothing on earth that must separate you with this person, right? So the devil must make sure that as soon as you are born, you start with masturbation and all these things, training yourself for failure. Training yourself for failure. Every day you are practicing for what? For failure. You have got these things you are watching. You are constantly bombarded by nakedness. You are training yourself for what? For failure. By the time you get married at the altar, men are watching and saying, we have already uncovered that thing. There's nothing there that is still left. You are finished already. The three angels message is already violated. And it says Babylon is fallen here. Babylon is what? It's fallen. It's fallen. That great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Now we studied about the French Revolution, right? Studied about the French Revolution, how they exalted and they destroyed marriage. This is the same thing that is being perpetuated today. The devil wants to destroy your marriage as soon as you are born. And some of us are ready for divorce right now as we are seated here. We are trained in divorce. We even know the pain of it. Because you have been dumped 100 times. You have been trained for divorce. You have this boyfriend, you dump him. You feel how it feels to leave someone. You've got another one, you dump him. You feel how it feels to have another boyfriend. You move on to the next one. Now you have committed what? Multiple relationships in a short space of time. The things God has reserved for marriage are already nothing to you. It's a terrible space to be in. It's a terrible space to be in. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. This is describing a church, right? It says, and after these things I saw another angel, Revelation chapter 18 verse 1 to 4. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. Now I want to ask you a question. Is it possible that a child of God can be married to someone who comes from Babylon? Can you marry someone who is a habitation of devils? It's not possible. Can you marry someone who is a hold of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird? Who is not being controlled by the Holy Spirit? How do you expect that person to love you? Where will they find it? How can a person who is in this state find love and give it to you? You understand? This is just I'm not even describing Babylon itself. The literal Babylon, which is paganism. People who don't even know God completely. I'm talking about Christians here who are what? Who are Babylon? That's why the Bible. That's why God says, man, he screams from his lungs that you cannot go out. It is impossible to be happy if you take that step. And some of us already, as we are seated here, you are someone's husband and someone's wife. They booked you. Babylonians have a right on top of you. Because you saying, he is some. That one is very nice. He is better than all those people in Israel. And that one, he is better than all those people in Israel. And God is looking on from heaven and says, hey man, you want to take a demon into your house? Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to do that? Take a demon into your house. Now, what does the Bible say? Let's open our Bibles so that we will see. I don't think there's any sleeping tonight. don't think they're saying something tonight. You guys are not even in the mood for sleeping. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 to 18. Huh? You can see that man, eh? Will that relationship work? Huh? Can someone read it for us?
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial? And what part has he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God hath said, I will dwell in them, and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and I will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, said the Lord Almighty.
So, the Bible is telling us not to be what? Unequally yoked together with what? With unbelievers. It's not a joke. God sees exactly what is in Babylon. Hey, did you know? Did you know that an unbeliever includes everyone who does not believe in present truth? Meaning a person who does not believe in present truth. Why? You are meaning a child. Do you understand that? You are a rapist. You are raping a child, because that thing is still an infant. A person who does not understand present truth cannot be married by you. How will they be able to give glory to God if they have no idea what that is? They have no idea what they are here for in this life. And what will they do to your children? It's just a chaotic lifestyle, you understand? That also includes those who are outside the church, who call the church Babylon, should not be married by you. Who are Seventh-day Adventists, but who call the church Babylon. You are in trouble, because that person is already where? In Babylon. He is already an unbeliever. He is already swimming within a pool of darkness. You understand? You cannot be married by such people. Now the Bible tells us we should not be unequally yoked. It's not even playing around. It says, hey, we have no relationship, me and the devil. Christ says, I have no relationship with the devil. I don't know how to have a relationship with you. But you think we must have a relationship when you take Christ and go and marry. Read Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3 to 5. Deuteronomy chapter 7.
Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shall thou not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall he deal with them. He shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their goods, and burn their graven images with fire.
Do you understand? It's God very clear here. We should not be making any marriages with these people. You understand? There is no partnership that is going to be there. God says the only thing you have to do for them is to go and destroy their religion. That's the only relationship you have with them. You are going to break down their altars. You are going to destroy their images and destroy their altars and burn their images with fire. It is not possible. He says you can't marry with them. And then what will they do? They will turn your heart, your son's heart, from following who? Me. God says it. Hey, they have tried it, ne? And their hearts were turned from the Lord. Many people have tried that path, ne? And their hearts were turned from the Lord. Now read 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 89. 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
The wife is bound by the law as long as the husband be dead. But if the husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord.
7 verse 89, ne? Look at it nicely. It's a gaining yoke, ne? It's a gaining yoke when you're married with a person you don't love, ne? For the rest of your life until they are dead. Hey, it's a hard bargain to say I'm gonna bank on their death. You understand, ne? Once you are united with someone, ne, to bank on their death, ne, it's very difficult. That's the only time when the Lord says, ne, that if the husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will. Ne? Only where? Only where? Only in the Lord. What does it mean? Well, I think I must explain it. What it means, ne, is that only in the Lord. You can only marry this person where? In the Lord. You should not find someone where? In Babylon. That's not a place to find someone, because before both of you contemplate marriage, you must first be where? In the Lord. Are we together? It is not possible to contemplate marriage with someone out there and then whenever you take them to the Lord. It's going to be what? A disaster. Because, do you understand? Eh? You cannot convert another human being. Eh? Marriage must be formed in the fear of God. Now, this is what we have learned so far. Eh? Marriage must give glory to God. Eh? Marriage is to stand the hour of His judgment. Marriage must worship Him that made the heaven and the earth and the fountains of waters. It is what marriage must do for each and every one of us. Eh? It is what marriage must do for each and every one of us. Now listen here, it says, the curse of God rests upon many ill-timed, inappropriate connections that are formed in this age of the world. If the Bible left these questions in a vague, uncertain light, then the course that many youths of today are pursuing in their attachments for one another would be more excusable. But the requirements of the Bible are not halfway injunctions. They demand perfect purity of thought, of word, and of deed. We are grateful to God that His word is a light to the feet, and that none need mistake the path of duty. The young should make it a business to consult its pages and heed its counsels. The foresaid mistakes are always made in departing from its precepts. What rests there? A wedding does not bless a marriage. Are we together? Eh? A financed wedding does not bless a marriage. What blesses a marriage? Is God. Now, if God is not there, we are all performing art. You know art, ne? You know a movie. You've seen them perform a movie, right? And get people married. Yeah, we are all performing art when we are doing that. God is not in the business of blessing that which He has said. He says a curse rests upon that marriage. Yes, my sister.
I just need to add, like,
Oh, okay.
on what you're saying. Reading from Deuteronomy chapter 7, where you have read, verse 5. Where it says, starting from verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. So here we are told that in order, we are not supposed to make marriages with them, but we have to do what? To destroy them. So if you are in harmony with that person, how are you going to destroy them? How are you going to preach the gospel to that person? How are you going to present the laws to that person? Like, to the laws we have that law which says do not commit adultery. It just shows, because you can't say God says we must not commit adultery, and you cannot expound it further, because the person will ask you the same question, what are you doing? Is not that what we are having? And
I love you, ne? Sorry, I love what you're saying. Ne? Did you know that it is torture to an unbeliever to bring them to church? You are unfeeling, ne? You are ruthless. Yes, I'm coming back to you, ne? You are ruthless, ne? I don't want to forget this part. You are ruthless when you take someone from Babylon, ne, and bring them to church. And then when they get here, even if they don't know that you are a transgressor of the law and you are the best husband, when they get here, ne, you wish nobody touches on those issues. When someone touches on the fact that do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers, she looks at her husband and go, okay, so wherever you are an unbeliever, you came to get me out there, and God commanded you not to do it. So, since you are an unbeliever, what's this Sabbath issue? Why talk about the Sabbath? You are an unbeliever, you came for me. And then you are saying, here we must keep the Sabbath holy. The Sabbath holy. You will be preaching against yourself, ne? It will be an exchange with you and yourself. Very interesting. So many of us are so bold, ne? That we think the Lord did not see this thing right. He has not seen mine. Yes, my sister. Go ahead.
you can also open Deuteronomy 23 verse 14.
Deuteronomy
23 verse 14.
verse 14.
Which says, For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp, to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. We'll read it in line with 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 16.
1 Corinthians chapter what?
6:16. We can start it from 15. It says, Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. So in Genesis chapter 2, we are told that man and wife, or wife and woman, their husband and wife will be one flesh. And so, if you join yourself to, if you are married to an unbeliever, you are a Christian, I believe present truth, I go and be married to an unbeliever. I am an unbeliever also. Because it says one shall, the two must be one. So we can't say the unbeliever will be a Christian, but the believer will be an unbeliever.
Yes.
And here it tells us that God will turn away from us. So we must not expect us to have the Spirit of God when we are married to unbelievers.
You know, that's the only thing even in our church pastors don't pray for. You know that, right? Yeah, pastors will never bless such a marriage. They know, my hands are just playing, eh? Yeah. Even the most useless pastor will never bless that marriage. Because he knows, I am blessing what a curse. But many marriages are being blessed when people are finished. Already. You have joined yourself to a harlot. You are a harlot yourself actually. Because you've been committing harlotry all your life. Masturbation, that all those things that you are doing in secret, you are training yourself for harlotry, you are a harlot. It's just that your man is a doll. You are using a doll, isn't it? Isn't it on TV? You are watching it on TV and abusing yourself, so you are using a doll, isn't it? You are not doing it physically. And did you know that Another man cannot arouse another man, right? So you have tested what? Lesbianism and gayism. You have already done that with yourself. Correct? If you find yourself attractive to arouse yourself, you are what? Huh? You are that animal that is, what is it called? Yeah. Terrible things, eh? Yes, I'm seeing another hand. Where is it? Yes, it's up.
Yes, I want to read a verse in quotation.
Okay.
In Genesis chapter 6,
I'm glad, eh? Everyone who is bold to read the Bible and a quotation, and they are young, eh? Amen. Yes.
chapter 6, verse 2.
Because some of us are already mothers, eh? With children dead, isn't it?
Genesis chapter 6.
You know that, right? Some of us are already mothers with children dead. We are widows, actually. Eh? You have killed so many children by now, eh? Yes, go ahead, Nisa.
It reads, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. The sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair. This is what's happening even today. You're in Adventist, you look in Babylon, then you see those people that they were fair, that they are fair. It's what this verse is saying. The children of God saw the children of men. So the children of men here, this quotation explains that who are they? Patriarch and Prophet 81 paragraph 2. For some time the two classes remained separate. The race of Cain, spreading from the place of their first settlement, dispersed over the plains of the valley where the children of Seth had dwelt, and the latter, in order to escape from their contaminating influence, contaminating influence, withdraw to the mountains, and there made their home. So long as this separation continued, they maintained the worship of God in its purity. So this is the children of Seth and the descendants of Seth. But in the length of time, they ventured, little by little, to mingle with the inhabitants of the valleys. So the inhabitants of the valleys were the children of Cain and his descendants. This association was productive of the worst results. The sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair. The children of Seth, attracted by the beauty of the daughters of Cain's descendants, displeased the Lord by intermarrying with them. Many of the worshippers of God were beguiled into sin by the allurements that were now constantly before them, and they lost their peculiar, holy character. Mingling with the depraved, they became like them in spirit and in deeds. You see, when you mingle with the Babylonian, you become like them in spirit and in deeds. What it means. And then it says, the restrictions of the seventh commandment were disregarded. Before I pass here. So it means if someone there, you have a Babylonian boyfriend, you and that boyfriend, you are the same. You just call yourself a Christian, but you have the same spirit. If that person, the Bible says Babylon is has become the habitation of devil, if you have the spirit of devil, you also have it. You are the same in everything you do. You are the same. That's what this quote is saying here. And they lost their peculiar and what they went to continue says, and they took them wives of all which they chose, not God chose for them. The children of Seth went in the way of Cain. They fixed their minds upon worldly prosperity and enjoyment, and neglected the commandments of the Lord. Men did not like to retain God in their knowledge. They became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Therefore, God gave them over to a mind void of judgment. That's why a person who has a Babylonian, or who is in relationship while he's young, his mind, some of them, when you can see even here, you are unable even to quote a verse, because the mind is dull. Is what it means. The mind is foolish and darkened. Sin spread abroad in the earth like a deadly leprosy.
So sin spreads much faster in that environment. You understand? You are like a breeding ground for sin now. How will you give glory to God? Huh? Can you imagine Elder Makualu is here, seated here, and he's worried that his wife is unfaithful at home? Is it even possible? But Mary, a Babylonian wife, they have no principles. They have no "thus says the Lord" before them. And that's what they can offer you with. The best they can offer you is they will come back. Terrible. Brother, what?
I wanted to add on what Sam was saying, that sometimes we say don't marry unbelievers. And I think if a person is here, we tell them not to marry unbelievers. It's something that once that message is being preached to you, you are just going to make someone's life difficult out there. But I believe this message is something that you are supposed to be attracted by a person who's like you. And for the fact that you are attracted by a person outside, it means that's who you are.
Yeah, like attracts like, yeah.
So, you see, when you tell a person who's an unbeliever to marry in the church, you are just going to, how do I put it? Okay, let's say this sister is a Christian Adventist, and then I tell Brother Rogers, who is unconverted, and say, for you to have a happy life, marry this person here in the church. I'm just going to kill that lady because he's going to convert her to be like him. You see? So I believe that first it must be conversion, because once someone attracts you, that's your character. Actually, when you tell me you want that lady, then I know who you are.
Yes. Actually, once you go and you marry someone who is or you even look at them, and you are attracted to someone who is a Babylonian, it means like attract like, isn't it? That's what you are inside. You understand, So, your wife is a reflection of you. Did God say Adam and Eve, Adam must teach Eve? Huh? Did God say you must teach Eve? Where is the verse that says God? Adam was born an old man, isn't it? And Eve was born a what? An old woman. These two who are meeting are man and what? And woman. You understand? To train up children in the fear of who? Of the Lord. Now, when you find someone who does not know God and you meet with them, what makes you? You are an unbeliever. And you are going to train children in the kingdom of Satan. Children will be born to be trained in the kingdom of Satan. There is no other way, because you have already done those things that make that environment very fruitful. You understand? So this is very terrible, brethren. It should not even cross your mind. Hey, if you are the only Adventist in your whole university of 5,000 students, there is not even one person to marry. There is not even one person who comes close to be married. There is nothing. There is just confusion and Babylonianism. You cannot even look at that person. Now, if you take, even if it's someone whom you know, this person has not even understood the Lord, and you take them and you make them your wife, you will never rise. You will come down to the level of that person, and you will never raise that person until they are converted by themselves. You understand? Yeah. We need to know that you are not a savior. You are not a savior. Don't go around saving people out there. Are we together? We are not saviors. I see your hand. Let me just get into this one, then we will comment after. Let me just get into this one. Read Genesis chapter 34, verse 1 to 5. I will ask Mrs. Barrow, can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land.
So she went playing, ne? Was she looking for a husband? She went where? Playing. She went to look for the daughters. Did she go to look at the men? No, ne? She was not looking for a husband, ne? That's what that is telling me. You understand, ne? She did not go out there looking for a husband. Okay.
And when Shechem, the son of Hano, the Levite,
The Hivite. Yes.
prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her.
So sleeping with another person is what? Is defilement, brothers and sisters. Eh? It's not cool, eh? Do you understand, Lugo? Sleeping with another person, eh, is defilement. It's not cool. You don't become cool, eh, after you sleep with another person. Eh? You are defiled. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and he spake kindly to the damsel. Eh? And she came spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to what? To wife. Eh? And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they came home. Eh? Now, I wanted to tell you something here, that if you look at it, eh, you will see the principles of a Babylonianism relationship. Ne? You go out dressed nice just to visit people with no thought, ne, of meeting anyone, and you meet someone in the streets. You don't even know who this person is. You don't know their father, you don't know their mother, you don't know if they have siblings, you don't even know if they have a child. You know nothing about that person. You meet them and they greet you, hey, how are you? Fine. I like you, man. Give me your number. Ne? And from there, ne, he saw her. And he did what? He took her. Ne? What comes after that? He lay with her and defiled her. When you are not defiled, ne, and then he says, his soul clave unto Dinah his daughter, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel. Now that's how they say, man, I think I love that girl, eh? She's so innocent, man. You know, I think I love her, man. You have started by sleeping with that person already. You finished with her. She's defiled already. She's nonsense in the eyes of God. And you yourself are already defiled as well. And then that's when love begins. And then the soul cleaves. And this soul cleaving is not love, eh? Do you understand? The soul cleaving there is not love. It is what? Infatuation. He's infatuated with this person. And we're going to see that, how infatuation plays out. This is terrible, brothers and sisters. When we follow those principles of a relationship, our relationship, if your relationship is not built on God, if there's no God there at the beginning there, and there's just you going out, this is how, if God would write our relationships, this is how they are. I just went to school to start. When I came back, I had a boyfriend. I went to the shops to buy food. When I came back, I had a boyfriend. I went to go and play with other girls, and then when I came back, they hooked me up. So many of us are hooked up. Even here, you are here to find God, and already some of you are hooked up. And you look for the wicked soul. You know those ones who are defiled, man. Those silly women who are laden with sins. You can see this one is a sin and this one. We are the same, man. This one, I like her, man. The way she dresses, she's promiscuous already. You can just see her cleavage. You can just see her body is naked. So already, you already know that this one is the weakest. I can get there. And we go and look for her, and we do all manner of sins, because we will never find out, brothers and sisters. That is terrible, You are a sinner, corrupting other people, and you are corrupted as well. Instead of seeing a soul that needs Jesus, you're seeing a what? A prostitute that you can use. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. God will what? God will judge, brothers. That relationship will tell you. Remember, because of that relationship, do you know how many people died?
Yes, it is true. They kill them.
Mm.
Because they said they want to circumcise
Yes.
in order to be one of them.
Uh-huh.
And then they just kill them, all of them.
Love evangelism will kill always. Love evangelism will kill its inhabitants. Doesn't work. You cannot evangelize through love. Anyone who evangelizes through love, I love you. I hear women when they think they're desperate, and they say, "Hi man, maybe God sent me to save him." Really? To save who? God has not sent you to save anyone with through love. He has no sex evangelism. Some of you think you are good evangelists. You don't even know where the book of Genesis is, but you want to go and evangelize to a man. You are weak mentally. Any man can get you. But you think you can evangelize through sex. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. That one destroys. God says he will judge these people. He will judge these people. Now let us look at Samson. Judges chapter 14, verse 1 to 4. There was a hand somewhere. Where was it? No, there was another one. Who addressed their hand? No one? Okay. Yes, my sister.
I just wanted to add on Joshua 23, verse 14. To show what does these people become unto us when we are married. We are married to them. 23, verse 11 to 13.
Joshua 23. Okay.
11 to 13. It says, "Take good heed therefore unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. As if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you. Know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God has given you." So being married to unbelievers, it even makes you to miss the land that God has promised to give you, because it will make your eyes there will be thorns in your eyes. So if there are thorns in your eyes, you can't see. That's when I want to even read the Bible, as Brother Zach was talking, that we are not able to understand what the Word of God is talking to us, because our minds are already filled with those things.
The relationship was made for Christians. A relationship was made for Christians. God never had in mind that a relationship must be taken. Now, what we have done is we have gone to God and grabbed marriage and ran away with it. You understand? And we left God alone. That relationship will never prosper, brothers and sisters, because a relationship must be built on God. Now, let's see Samson. And Samson went down to Timnah, and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. What did he do? He saw, right? And he came up and he told his father and his mother and said, "I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife." Then his father and his mother said, "Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of uncircumcised Philistines?" And Samuel said unto his father, "Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well." When I look at her, she pleases me well. Actually, they don't dress the Babylonians. They had the dress reform, isn't it? The demon possessed. A demon possessed person, we said a demon possessed person loves nakedness. You remember? So those women, they love nakedness. They feel like by much nakedness they will be loved, isn't it? And that's why they get themselves as naked as possible. Find someone with the shortest skirt ever, and you lust after her and you say, "Go get her for me, man. She pleases me, man." Hey! When I see her and then she pleases me. just as he was entering, listen to this, just as he was entering, okay, let me make someone read, ne? Rufuno? Can you read?
Okay. Just
Okay, we want to comment on, okay, wait, yes, what?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the previous quote,
Quote or,
not quote the verse.
okay,
Yes, on Samson, to say that one of the principles that we are told, when one has to enter marriage is that they must inform parents. So, you see, Samson did told his parents.
yes, yes.
So it's not only the principle that must be followed, it's one of them, you see, because one might think that by telling the parents then everything is fine. You might tell the parents but still you find that the person still the character is defective. Because you believe that if I have informed parents then everything is okay.
Hey, and you know, we need to talk about this thing of informing parents, Yeah, man, I think we need to crack this thing open,
Yes.
You don't go and look for a woman and love her and then say, let's go and ask the parent and tell your parents, that's wrong, The parents know before you go for her, not after. That is in reverse, The parents must know before, because by the time you let them know, do you still want any advice? You are finished. You are like, Samson, get that for me. And then the parents are like, but Tish, did you even look at that female? Hey, I said, get there for me. She pleases me well. But what if she is not get her for me? I have money. Here is money. Go get her for me. Maybe I know what I'm doing. You've done things in reverse, and it must never be done in reverse. This thing of informing the parents is just now, everyone does it, isn't it? Unless you are cohabiting, which is also sin. You're just building your marriage on sin, It's also the same. You are the same with the one who goes and does things like this. This is not, do you think there's blessings here? Listen to this. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord that he sought occasion against the Philistines. Your relationship is to seek occasion against the Philistines. It's not for love, God says, I'm just going to use this relationship to get angry at those people. To destroy Babylonians. I'm just going to use that relationship. It's never going to work. Never. It's not even in God's plans. It's terrible things. Yes, read the book.
just as he was entering upon manhood, the time when he must execute his divine mission, the time above all others when he should have been true to God, Samson connected himself with the enemies of Israel. He did not ask whether he could better glorify God when he united with the object of his choice, or whether he was placing himself in a position where he could not fulfill the purpose to be accomplished by his life. To all who seek first to honor him, God has promised wisdom, but there is no promise to those who are bent upon self-pleasing.
So Samson was entering upon a stage of being a man, right? It's like you, when you enter what? University. You are just about to define who you are going to be in your life. You understand? Just there, when he was still, he had not even finished preparing himself. Just there, he united himself with an idolatrous person. With an enemy of God. Can you imagine? What type of a marriage are you going to found that is like that? Christianity ought to have a controlling influence upon marriage relations, but it is too often the case that the motives which lead to this union are not keeping with Christian principles. Satan is constantly seeking to strengthen his power over the people of God by inducing them to enter into alliance with these subjects in order to accomplish his endeavors to arouse unsanctified passions in their heart. So the devil is the one who is inspiring you. Ne? When you think you love this person and your eyes are seeing this person as lovable, ne? It is because your eyes have been corrupted by the devil. The movies we watch, brothers and sisters, are teaching us steps of marriage, isn't it? You start by what? By dating, isn't it? After that, you sleep together. Or you go to a party, isn't it? Ne? That's the way to do it. You go to a party and they show these two young people who are loving each other. Who are in the pool together, naked off. And this person just feels, man, I can't live without this person. So beautiful, romantic. Then they sleep together. The parents have no idea that the marriage relation was formed. Parents are sleeping at home, thinking a child is in the other bedroom, the child is busy making another marriage. It's so terrible, eh? You must be parents here, you will understand how terrible these things are. Listen to this. This one, I think this one is the most wonderful thing that you could ever do. If this is one of the things that I thought, this is excellent. This is excellent singing, eh? Then Samson went to Gaza and saw there what? A harlot, and went in unto her. Ne? He's not even worried about harlots anymore, ne? You understand, eh? And you think you can make a husband out of Samson because he's in the church. The Lord has sent you to save him because he has money. I think Samson has power, ne? So you think you can convert Samson. Terrible. Even if he's in the church, this man is not a Christian, eh? No. And it was told the Gazites saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed in him and they wait for him all night at the gate of the city. And he went quiet all the night, saying in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight and arose at midnight and took all the doors of the gate of the city and the posts and went away with them and the bar and all and put them upon his shoulders and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. And it came to pass afterward that he loved the woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. Haman. Huh? After that relationship with the harlot, you know, because he has got power, isn't it? He took up the gates now of the city and showed them who he is. Some men, that's what they're doing, isn't it? You've got power to think this thing through. Oh, just do abortion. You've got power, man, to think this thing through. It will never help you sin, because you've got what condoms, isn't it? You use condoms, man. God did not really know how powerful you are. So Samson thought he could use his power to escape all this prostitution that he just did. You have power to prevent pregnancy. Does not mean you are not a sinner. You are corrupted. Your power to prevent pregnancy does not mean you are right. You can even after that come and stand here and preach a powerful sermon and we say amen. It does not mean you are fine. Samson was busy doing that after he slept with a harlot. He used the power of God to go and do what? And lodge the gates of the city on top of a mountain. The power of God was used by Samson. It does not mean that person is a Christian when they don't have Christian principles, when they cannot do something according to the Bible, when they think they can trick God. You think you can trick God to do something. You can say, why, brothers and sisters? Now, Samson lay and it says, and it came to pass afterwards that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. I don't even know if he understood the word, Now, you're going to read for yourself, later, And then Samson now comes, and he says, now, YouTube, what are you doing? You're sleeping. Huh? Yeah, I think you will be awake, Yes, let me leave it there. Amen. You are awake, You are sleeping when we are discussing the issues of the Bible, But you are awake when you are discussing prostitution, isn't it? You love these things, These things, if you are sleeping, right now, you are asleep, because you are discussing the things of the Bible. But if it was your phone and you were discussing to a Babylonian, then you'd be awake, isn't it? Even the entire night until in the morning. Terrible, brothers and sisters, where our minds are. Eh? And the Lord of the Philistines came up to her and said unto her, entice him and see whether his great strength lieth, by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee one of us 700 pieces of silver. She's going to get money by being with you. It's your wife that you have loved. Eh? And the other said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, where did I get strength lieth? And wherewith thou must be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me 7 green wheats, that I will never dry, then shall I be weak, and I shall be as other men. Foolishness! Huh? How do you even get there to play around with your salvation? You see, Adventists, this is what we believe, you know. Man, those people are fanatics. We don't really believe those things. Eh? You are giving away nothing because you are nothing, isn't it? You think this is your wife, isn't it? You are thinking this is your wife, and she is drawing all the strength from you and making sure that she's going to render Samson as useless as a piece of paper. And anyone says, when he discovered that, hey, I think my wife is not fine, man. Nah? You know what she does? She laughs it off like, Samson. No, but it's nothing, man. I knew you're powerful, my husband. You know what can bind you. He's like, yeah, I think she's right. I think she's right. Maybe I was just seeing things. She loves me, this woman. Then the Lord of the Philistines brought her 7 green coats which already been, and she bound him with them. Now, there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee. As if she is warning you. What type of a marriage is this? When the husband and the wife are playing with death. Every day you wake up, you and your wife, you plot your own death. And that's how you love each other. The marriage is exhilarating, because you are drinking together. You are doing things that are out of harmony with the will of God. Because why? You are plotting these things together. She's playing with you. She's making sure, how far can I go with this man until he dies? And she does not have those principles. She wants what? Money. So some of you are with your wife because she knows she can get money from you. And you think you are loved, It's just a plot for money. These relationships are not new, brothers and sisters, of blessers. Here, Samson was a blesser to this woman, and he could not provide. The strength was nonsense because it's just strength. She went and she got money from somewhere. Other men came. How many other men come and talk to my wife? I'll die, isn't it? Other men come and talk to my wife about me, and my wife listens. But these are the type of women we marry. These are the type of women we look for. And they are allowed to do this. Because she is Babylonian, she does not see anything wrong with that. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. She wants the truth. A liar wants the truth. Delilah is a liar. And a plotter and a murderer. But she wants the truth from you. Terrible things. And she says, I pray thee, wherewith thou must be bound. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes, that will not occupy, then I shall be weak and be as other men. Terrible, brothers and sisters. You will go on and on. Every day will be a trial and a test to you. Until Samson is like, my soul is now sorrowful. It's now, I have had enough. Christianity is not too much for me. Let me just tell her and die once. And he tells her, we have sacrificed our lives just like that, brothers and sisters. Can you read this one? Yes, please. I don't know if you want to read this first.
No, I wanted to comment.
Okay, Komo will read after you. You can just comment, please.
Yes, I just wanted to say that we learned an important lesson from the story of Samson. That union with unbelievers is actually placing ourselves on certain ground. And I would like to read a quotation from Adventist Home, page 67, paragraph 1, which says, "To connect with an unbeliever is to place yourself on Satan's ground. You grieve the Spirit of God and forfeit His protection. Can you afford to have such terrible odds against you in fighting the battle for everlasting life?" And then another one which we find in Adventist Home, page 66, paragraph 4, it says, "Hundreds have sacrificed Christ and heaven in consequence of marrying unconverted persons. Can it be that the love and fellowship of Christ are of so little value to them that they prefer the companionship of poor mortals? Is heaven so little esteemed that they are willing to risk its enjoyment for one who has no love for the precious Savior?" I just wanted to read those quotations.
You understand, eh? To be with an unbeliever is to place yourself where? On Satan's ground, eh? You are in trouble, I tell you. You'll be a football all your life, eh? You'll be a football all your life. I said, can you read, Kumo?
The Lord has in His word plainly instructed His people not to unite themselves with those who have not His love and fear before them. Such companions will seldom be satisfied with love and respect which are justly theirs. They will constantly seek to gain from the God-fearing wife or husband some favor which shall involve a disregard of the divine requirements.
Let me say it. Let me say it. You know what happens? You go in the mall, eh? And then your wife says, "Ish, I feel like pork today." What? I feel like pork today. You wanted to behave that day, eh? And that whole day is ruined. If you are going to stick to principle, you are going to fight with your wife. If you are not going to fight with your wife, you are going to fight with God. So your whole day is ruined. Something so simple, eh? The next day, eh? You go out to the mall again. Eish. Don't you sometimes feel like just a little bit of alcohol? She doesn't say too much. She says a little bit of alcohol. Just to enjoy ourselves, man. Isn't it the two of us? And like, but you know we're not supposed to drink. You know that thing is not good, my wife. Because you can't afford to be always unhappy with your wife, eh? Even if she's Delilah. You can't. Your heart longs for happiness. Eh? That's why Samson said, enough! I want to be happy, man. It's not the You understand, eh? Because you want to be happy, your heart longs for happiness. And you can't afford someone pestering you. And you know what? Babylonians don't get tired. Until they will not be satisfied with the fact that you love them. They will always take you a step further. One more step. Eh? Can you imagine telling a Babylonian that you can't kiss until after marriage? How are you going to even say that statement? Kissing! We can't kiss. What do you mean? How is it even possible? And then he even writes on his Facebook status, "Hey, you know my father." Because why? They can't believe what we're saying. This woman says we can't kiss until we're married. I understand if she was talking about sleeping together. I will understand. Then he starts, okay, let's just kiss there, you know? Then from there, it's since I'm like this now, what do you think? Okay. You know, until you're dead, brothers and sisters. It's just a hole, which never gets satisfied. It will eat you alive. There's no ways. Because the principles were never founded on God's principles. He says, but I love you, I'm going to marry you, you are my wife already. Why can't we just do these things? It sounds so convincing, isn't it? Yes, finish it up.
To a godly man and to the church which and to the church with which he is connected, a wealthy wife and a wealthy friend is a spy in the camp.
Go back. Read it again. I want you to hear.
To a godly man and to the church with which he is connected, a wealthy wife or a wealthy friend is a spy in the camp, who will watch every opportunity to destroy the servant of Christ and expose him to the enemy's attacks. Satan.
You understand, eh? So your wife, eh? Now, can you imagine? You bring your wife to God and God sees her as a spy in the camp. Huh? How are you going to work together with God? That relationship is just broken. She's a spy for God. God says, I spy. And when he says, Lord, I brought her for you. And God says, but this woman is a spy, my friend. Then she's going to betray everyone here. And you know what she will do? She will be a gossiper among you. You will fight among yourselves because she has no principles, isn't it? She will even tell. Wait, you have no idea. This other day, this other guy was preaching. Preaches, powerful sermon. Preaches. When he finishes, the wife says, don't listen to him, that one. She comes and tells us, don't listen, that one. Not a Christian. The things he does, he's cheating, he's doing this. By the time she finishes, I don't want to say that man is anything. She's a what? She's a spy in the camp. And then she goes there to another one and proposes him. And then she goes to her husband and says, that one is proposing me. So that she causes chaos. She's a spy in the camp. She doesn't know what else to do. Church is so boring to her. How can you sit the whole day and have nothing to do? So she looks for something to do for herself, and she gets busy causing chaos in the church. Is a spy. A woman who does not know God is a spy. A man whom you bring to God and you think is going to be a church goer. Never work. Satan is constantly seeking to strengthen his power over the people of God by inducing them. So who inspires you? It's Satan. He induces you to enter into alliance with the host of darkness. You just feel attracted to these people, man. Everyone you see here is not a lady. Israelites made Samson a judge and he ruled Israel for 20 years. But one wrong step prepares the way for another. He continued to seek those sensuous pleasures that were luring him to ruin. He loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, not far from his own birthplace. Her name was Delilah, the consumer. Can you imagine you married a wife and God calls her the consumer? Some of you really think, these people were blessed by the past. And God said, the consumer is in the house. The Philistines had a vigilant watch over the movements of their enemy. And when he degraded himself by his new attachment, they determined through Delilah to accomplish his role. So that woman that you think is your wife is going to be a problem to you. Listen to this. 3 times Samson had the clearest evidence that the Philistines had linked with his charmer to destroy him. But when his people failed, she treated the matter as a jest and he bluntly banished fear. She just said, man, this is... What? Mr. Machel said I propose... Me, people are drunk, man. Why would I do something like that? I never did. When she knows she did, she treated the matter with jest and he blindly banished fear. In society of his enchantress, the judge of Israel squandered precious hours that should have been secretly devoted to the welfare of his people. A relationship, brothers and sisters, requires you everything, isn't it? When she is away from you, you must spend all the hours on her. You don't even have time for anything. She can't afford not to have you, isn't it? Because when she can't see you, she's not sure if you are alone. Some of you are doing video calling, not because you like it, but you must afford that I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. Amen. Terrible. When we are thinking people love each other, they can't tell terrible. It says here, sometimes infatuation seems almost incredible. At first, he was not so wholly enthralled to reveal the secret, but he had deliberately walked into the net of the betrayers of souls, and its meshes were drawing close about him at every step. Check your relationship, brothers and sisters. If you are in a relationship and you are not growing closer to God, and and the other person, because growing closer to God is not something we can do for each other. Everyone must do their own job for themselves. Is that not what the Bible says? I can't draw closer to God for my wife, isn't it? My wife must grow closer to God for herself. But when you spend precious hours, hours where you're supposed to be, you are at a mission camp and you're supposed to be drawing closer to God on an individual basis, and you are squandering the hours with the other person. Every minute, or calling each other. You just, as soon as we get on and break me and when you go, must be at the corner, they call it, hello, we're fine. Hi. Hey, how that? I know the every minute you get there, even when we are here, you're sitting down here, squandering those hours. The Lord is speaking, and we are hearing nothing. Because what? You are spending those hours which were supposed to be devoted to the welfare of His people. You are at the mission camp to do mission work. But some of you here came for, what's that thing? Is it a vacation? No, it's not even a vacation. This is worse, it's a honeymoon. Some of you are here for a honeymoon. The hours that you're supposed to spend on the welfare of other people, you are squandering them on your honeymoon. And what it says, those hours were better spent during marriage. The hours that you are using now, instead of studying your books, you are busy calling him, because you cannot spend a day without calling that person, isn't it? So you must try and be as weak as possible in order to be successful in a relationship with someone. It's terrible. Samson's infatuation seems almost incredible. He's really messed up. He's messed up, this man. God forbids believers marrying unbelievers. Never should God's people venture upon forbidden ground. Marriage between believers and unbelievers is forbidden by God. But too often the unconverted heart follows its own desires, and marriages unsanctioned by God are formed. Because of this, many men and women are without hope and without God in the world. Their noble aspirations are dead. By a chain of circumstances, they are held in Satan's net. Those who are ruled by passion and impulse have a bitter harvest to reap in this life, and their course may result in the loss of their souls. It's a curse. Those who profess to keep the truth trample on the will of God in marrying unbelievers. They lose His favor and make bitter work for repentance. Those who profess the truth trample on the will of God in marrying unbelievers. They lose His favor and make bitter work for repentance. The unbelieving may possess an excellent moral character, but the fact that he or she has not answered the claims of God and has neglected so great salvation is sufficient reason why such a union should not be consummated. The character of the unbelieving may be similar to that of the young man whom Jesus addressed with the words, "One thing thou lackest." That one thing was needful. The plea is, he is favorable to religion. Actually, he allows you to go to church. He says, I don't have a problem with your church. Actually, I will come with you. It's favorable to religion. The plea is sometimes made that the unbeliever is favorable to religion. And all that could be desired in a companion, except in one thing: he is not a Christian. Although the better judgment of the believer may suggest the impropriety of a union for life with an unbeliever, yet in 9 cases out of 10, inclination triumphs. Spiritual inclination commences the moment vows are made at the altar. You may not be seeing it now. You may not see it now. As soon as you stand in front of the pastor and you say, I do, you will begin to see the tail of the dragon. Because the Bible is very cruel. Before you are married, it admonishes you not to go on. To tell you, don't go on with what you're about to do. Don't go on with what you're about to do. As soon as you marry, God stands on the other side now. He says, keep your marriage. Keep your marriage. And at all costs, even at the death of your soul, keep your marriage. He hates divorce, isn't it? You will realize that God hates divorce. You will turn the pages of the Bible and look for a way out, and you will not find it. Because you were blind to simple things that the Lord showed you before you decided to take that step. We cannot be united with unbelievers and hope that we will be fine. This quotation we have already read. To connect with an unbeliever is to place yourself on where? On Satan's ground. You grieve the Holy Spirit of God and forfeit His protection. You grieve the Spirit of God and forfeit His protection. Can you afford to have such a terrible odds against you in fighting the battle for everlasting life? Can you imagine you grieve the Spirit of God by the person you've married? God knows, my sister, the person you're going to marry, it's never going to work. Then God says, this one will never be used by me anymore. You have grieved the Spirit of God. Now you're just hanging on for dear life. Ask yourself, will not an unbelieving husband lead my thoughts away from Jesus? He is a lover of pleasure more than a lover of God. Will He not lead me to enjoy the things that He enjoys? The path to eternal life is steep and rugged. Take no additional weight to retard your progress. Your husband becomes dead weight. They retard your progress. When you say prayer in the morning, they say, my husband, don't you see it's very early in the morning? She no longer begs you, isn't it? You can't divorce her. You will realize it when you are married. Now everyone must stand as a Christian in the family. My wife must be a Christian. I must be a Christian on my own. We don't help each other there. You understand? You can't push it. The more you force, the more you see how fake this thing is. And then you end up saying, let everyone do whatever they want to do. You will wake up on your own and you go and you pray. And by the time you do that, she's playing TV there. And you say, but we cannot watch TV. When you go to church, every message is a trial. Because you know your wife will not accept this at home. They preach about the health message. You understand it very clearly. You must let go of meat. And your wife says, where? In my house. This woman would do exactly that. The husband would say he wants to be a vegetarian. And then she would cause him to eat meat with the soup of chicken. You understand? And then after he eats, she says, but you say you don't eat chicken, isn't it? You just eat it. Why would you do that to me? It's a war in the house. And this is what's wrong with you? It's just soup, man. It's nothing. I didn't give you meat, I just gave you soup. Then when he stands in front of the people, he says, yeah, but this man, it's nothing, man. You know, he eats meat, this one. He tells everyone. Don't see when he stands up in front of you, you realize I married a demon. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's terrible, brethren. It's terrible. Some of us are like Phineas. Is it Phineas? No. That man. Forgot his name. And behold, Numbers chapter 25, verse 6 to 8. Numbers chapter 25, verse 6 to 8. It says, and behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses. and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door and the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the men of Israel in the tent and thrust both of them through, and the men of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. Do you understand? When we're at a mission camp like this, someone is like this man. He looks for a prostitute. Which one is good? Which one is a prostitute here? You look for those who can't comment properly. What those ones who don't know where the book of Acts is? Who have no idea. You like those weak ones because you know these ones are the easiest targets, and you go for them. God says we must take a javelin and thrust it through the both of you. It's Christian, brethren, to kill you, both of you. Because you are not. When people are busy agonizing with God, you are busy forming an alliance with the devil. Camp becomes no benefit to you. He is not benefited by anything. And God is so angry that after his death, God rejoices. He even rewards Phinehas. He says, yeah, this man has done well for the deed that he did. No. That Hannah was innocent, brothers. She never chose God. But you are guilty. Don't think it's a good thing that you are loved. So everyone loves you. There may be harlots that love you. You understand? It's not because they are people. Before you form a relationship, God must have been at the beginning. It cannot be that the relationship can be formed and be brought to God. It cannot be. Look at this one. I want to show you infatuation. What infatuation is. The Bible will show you what infatuation is. Yes. 2 Samuel chapter 10, chapter 13. So, who can read it for us? I want two people who can read. Madauja, you read from verse 10 to verse 13. And then Mrs. Ndau, please read from verse 14 to verse maybe verse 17. Yeah. Yes, read, start. Yeah.
And Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them,
I think wait, Nyara, I want to see something here. I want to see something. There are some of us who are matchmakers. You know matchmakers? Some of us are matchmakers. I want you to see your role. I can't just let you pass like that. I want you to see your role here. And these matchmakers, who see you guys that think you are fine together. When I look at Sister Pumpiro and Brother Fulper, I think these ones are matched, man. You guys are fine. You are constantly suggesting how this thing could be done better. You understand? You understand? You are a matchmaker, you are just very good at these things, man. When we are busy with the work of God, you are busy matching us and seeing who could gel with who. You understand? That's very terrible. I want us to see these things. Let's start it from verse 1. This is very important. I don't want to pass it lightly. This is very important. Starting from verse 1. Who started from verse 1? Can you please read from verse 1 up to verse... I said you can start at verse 10. Yeah, read up to verse 5. And then someone will take it from 6 to 9. Okay.
And it came to pass after this, that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar.
Huh? Do you understand, ne? Have you ever been in a relationship like that? Where you just feel everything about you, ne? This man loved his sister, ne? The Bible says, ne? He loved his sister so much, ne? That he was so vexed and that he felt so sick for his sister. You even have flu now, ne? And we ask you, what is it for? Like, sister, man. Sister, man. I'm always thinking about her. I can't get her out of my head, man. My heart is like united with her. Listen, go ahead, man.
For she was a virgin, and Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shema, David's brother.
He had a friend, ne? Okay, all right.
And Jonadab was a very subtle man. And he said unto him, Why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. And Jonadab said unto him, Lay thee down on thy bed, and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat, and rest the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at her hand. So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come, and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand.
It was a plot, ne? You see, when you think you are a charmer, ne? Brothers and sisters, the moment you dress up so that you may be seen by another person, you are a charmer. You know what is a charmer? It's a snake, ne? You are a skillful charmer. You lay a snare for someone else. Some of you use your own body, ne? You even get yourself sick so that another person can notice you, ne? And get in bed with you. The whole aim, ne, is to get this person. So we will use any device, ne, even if it's lies. You will even pretend to be something you are not. If you see this brother loves spiritual things, you will carry a Bible every day and lay a snare for him until he is ensnared. And you ask others, how can I even get him better? And they advise you. You sit down under a tree and plot someone's demise. You plot someone's downfall. This brother was so good that he helped this thing to go forward. You understand? When you have a friend and that friend plots to make sure that you are in a relationship with someone, and they never involve your parents, they should have gone to David here. From here they should have gone to David. Is this man what we are going to do even fine? And David would have crushed that spell that was in with the brother. Because some of this relationship that you think you are feeling is a spell, it's not reality. Are we together? You will see. I think let's just keep. Let's go to verse 9. Verse 10. Is it verse 10? Madauji? Yes.
And Amnon said unto Tamar, Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her and said unto her, Come lie with me, my sister. And she answered him, Nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than her, or being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, Arise and be gone.
Huh? You've never seen this scenario. Infatuation. Where you just see a woman and then you just love her curves, you know? Huh? She just, hey man, this sister man. Hey, I just like her, what's this thing? Her cleavage, you know? I just, dash man, she's so beautiful man. And you tell the others, and the others are like, you're right man. Hey, we must help you get her. Né? And you get her, né? And as soon as he finishes lying with her, with all the work that he had done, né? The hatred was twice as much. When he had finished with her, he said to her what? He does not even open the door. He will be gone. And the hatred now is real, brothers. Hey. You've never seen this playing out? When before you are pregnant, you are the most beautiful woman. As soon as you are pregnant, the tables turn, and the devil now comes alive. He says, oh, what? You are what? Because what? He never loved you. It's infatuation. It's infatuation. This was infatuation, but it looked so close to love that you could not tell the difference. But how do you see the person can't keep their hands off from you? Every space you get, you must get to kissing, man. You must hide somewhere, man, and kiss each other. You can't get the hands off each other, and you think that is love. Finish it up, man.
Verse 16. And she said unto him, There is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken unto her. Then he called his servant that ministered unto him and said, Put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her.
Put this woman away from me. I don't want to see her. Isn't it he finished with this victim? He wants to look for another. Put this one out from me. And those are the type of relationships that we young women and young men are involving ourselves with. The devil is cruel, The devil is cruel. And you think you are being loved here. And you are blinded by these things. You are blinded by gifts. You are blinded by being called. Blinded by being charmed. If I don't eat a cake from you, if I can eat a cake, what kind of sickness it is that I must eat a cake from you and I'll be healed? You don't feel that does not make sense? A young man says to you, he is not even, he's in grade 12 with you. He says, I will give you half of my salary. And you believe it, He even says in percentage, 30%. I'll give you 30% of my salary. And you believe it. He says, man, that man loved me. Man. He said he's going to give you 30% of his salary. And you think that's reality, You see, this is terrible, brothers and sisters. This is very terrible, the things we get ourselves into. Can someone read, listen, you were supposed to read something, right? And you didn't read. Read this one.
While pure love will take God into all its plans and will be in perfect harmony with the Spirit of God, passion will be headstrong, rash, unreasonable, defiant of all restraint, and will make the object of his choice an idol.
Okay. Wait me on. Huh? You make them. If this describes you, brothers and sisters, you must fear, eh? Huh? You are filled with what? Passion, eh? And you are headstrong, eh? And you are rash, unreasonable, defiant of all restraint. There is nothing we can do to stop you. We must just let you go, eh? In this path. And will make the object of his choice an idol. It's like, hey man, this thing I can't live without it, you know? In all the deportment of one who possesses true love, the grace of God will be shown. Modesty, simplicity, sincerity, morality, and religion will characterize every step towards an alliance in marriage. So before you even start, before you even start to discuss any relationship, there must be what? Modesty. A woman must be dressed well, She does not learn dress reform after she is with you. She must be a reformer before she is with you. You understand, Hey. And there must be simplicity. She must be a person who loves simplicity. She must know how to cook food well, She must know how to do these simple things that do not involve these rich things. Simplicity, sincerity, she must be sincere, And morality, there must be morality, man. We cannot even kiss, man. Right? A woman who cannot get her hands off you is not worthy of your love. Because if you were not there, someone else would feel those hands, And religion will characterize the steps of it. Those who are thus controlled will not be absorbed in I thought this was love, Those who are thus controlled will not be absorbed in each other's society at a loss of interest in the prayer meeting and the religious service. Their favor for the truth will not die on account of neglect of the opportunities and privileges that God has graciously given them. You need to understand this infatuation. It looks almost like love. Easier to make a mistake than to correct it. Marriages are impulsive and selfishly planned, generally do not result well, but often turn out miserable failures. Both parties find themselves deceived. Gladly will they undo that which they did under an infatuation. It is easier, far easier, to make a mistake in this matter than to correct the error after it's made. To trifle with hearts, can you read this one? I'm not choosing you according to your deeds, I don't want you to think I'm choosing you. I just want you to read this one.
To trifle with heart is a crime of no small magnitude in the sight of the Holy God. And yet some will show preference of young ladies and call out their affections, and then go their way and forget all about the way they saw them and their effect. A new face attracts them, and they repeat the same words, devote to another the same attentions.
Alright.
This disposition will reveal itself in the marriage life.
Huh? Do you know how to get a person who will cheat on you? Here's the perfect receipt. Someone who is not afraid to propose 3 girls at the same time. And you know it, all of you know we are chasing one boy here. You even know it. I'm competing with Sister Who and Sister Who to get that boy. And may the best lady win. May the best lady, I have seen it, brothers, may the best lady win. And all of you will be after that boy with everything you've got. You should know that you are in trouble. That should be the first sign. Stay away from such a snake. If a man loves you, he will love you alone. He will not even do those things. You will not even know that he loves you actually. In the camp. He will find He will find a better place to tell you that by going to your parents first before he tells you. Huh? The one who just comes for you in a group. Let's just create a group, brothers and sisters, for Bible study. Let's just create a group for Bible study. And you know that there's no Bible study that you're going to do there. You're just looking to get the numbers, isn't it? So that you can send her another message and say, my sister, but what do you think about us praying more together? It says this position will reveal itself where? In married life. The marriage relation does not always make the fickle mind firm. The fact that you're married does not change that mind and make that mind firm. The ring does not add any value to that thing. The wavering steadfast and true to principle, they tire of constancy. They get tired of what? Of constancy. And unholy thoughts will manifest themselves in unholy actions. How essential it is then that the youth so get up the loins of their mind and guard their conduct that Satan cannot beguile them from the path of uprightness. It is not, you should not even be happy, brothers and sisters, that you are proposed being three. And we use that quotation, have a circle of friends, isn't it? And the second, all of them know already that you have them as a second. Because when the spirit of prophecy speaks about having a second, it means you must look at the sisters from far. Before you even propose them, you know that the sister who, she's a good lady, the sister, I'm not saying anything, you people. Yes, the sister who, these are good ladies. And then from far, you've not even proposed any of them. And then you go to God and pray as hard as possible. You've been praying all along because now you are ready to have a relationship. You begin the relationship with God. God must be the one who chooses for us. You understand? This infatuation is terrible. Yes?
Yes, I want to add a teaching on the issue of infatuation. And before I add, I just want to say, when we laugh, we must make sure that we don't silence our conscience. And then the quotation Adventist Home 71, paragraph 3. It reads, two persons become acquainted. They are infatuated with each other, and their whole attention is absorbed. Reason is blinded, and judgment is overthrown. They will not submit to any advice or control, but insist on having their own way, regardless of consequences, like some epidemic or contagion that must run its course is the infatuation that possesses them, and there seems to be no such thing as putting a stop to it. So according to this quotation, it is clear that the reason now is blinded. And when I check in the dictionary what is infatuation actually, it says the mind like is weak, it cannot reason. The reason is overthrown. The mind is blinded, and you cannot submit any advice to anyone when you are in relationship of being infatuated. And then it says like some epidemic, it's a disease actually. These things of being in relationship through infatuation. It just lasts at that woman. It's not a love, it's what they have already explained. So
I ask, what is the purpose of being in a relationship? Yes, my sister? It's to fear and glorify God. What would be the point of being in a relationship when you are in grade 8, my brother? What do you think would be the results of having a relationship when you are in grade 8? You are going to commit fornication. about grade 11? Still the same. Huh? Still the same. Ne? What about grade 12? Full pet? Still the same. Huh?
Yeah.
Lindo? What about first year? Still the same. You understand, eh? Because if we can say to you, get married tomorrow, will you do it? Huh? If we can tell you tomorrow, get married, you'll be terrified by that thought, right? Why are you in a relationship? Why are you in a relationship? Huh, Tubuku? It's peer pressure. It's terrible, eh? Terrible, eh? So it's that relationship of Diana, eh? When she just went out, isn't it? To see her friends, isn't it? And she came back with her boyfriend because of peer pressure, isn't it? And with her husband, before she even knew it. You understand, isn't it? You destroy your life permanently with these things. I don't know if I should say some of these things, but some of you are, we are already mothers here. When we are still thinking this thing is a child, you have already crossed over. You want a husband when? You will be shocked, Hey, if I can take a phone now, I'll be shocked. Huh? Can I take your phone? No, let's leave here. I'm very serious, man. I'm very serious. This is terrible, eh? This is terrible. This is terrible. You're still thinking you have a child at home, eh? Can't that child now is a what? Is a wife to someone else. Because all of us have been taught never to control our reasons. Eh? Some of you are still supposed to be devoted in the Bible now. Focus 100%, man. Your thoughts are supposed to be learning the Bible and understanding the will of God so that you can become a useful man and a useful woman. But you are so stupid because you have a woman. Because what happens in the relationship is that a wife requires 100% of your time. Not 90, not 10. Her problems becomes your problems. Her happiness becomes your happiness. Everything about, if you love her, you will have to devote time to her. You understand? So, when you are in a relationship, when you are not ready even to marry, what are you doing? It's just going to be infatuation. Let's read Genesis chapter 34. It will be our last verse before we conclude. You understand? It is our last verse before we conclude. Not this is, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm finishing. Well, you are saying half. What are you saying? I'm going to get the lega. Okay. I'm ruining Walter's video by speaking in Shangan. It's fine. They say I'm an African. It's an African, whatever. Genesis 34. Genesis 34. I want you to see something. No, it's not Genesis 34. It's Genesis what? 24, Did you know? Yes, it is Genesis 24. Thank you. Genesis 24, not 34. Genesis 24. Let's read. It's a very nice thing to read this one. My sister, you can read, ne? Okay. Let's not disturb you. You are writing a lot of things down. Sister Moon, yes, you can read from verse 1, ne? And then I will stop in halfway and give it to Sister Angwine, Mrs. Baloi. And then I will move on to yes. Ne? Yeah, we will share. Ne? Let's read Genesis chapter 24. We are not going to read all the verses. Ne? I just want you to see something with this story. Ne? I think this is like a classic, ne? Of how to find a life partner. You understand? Ne? This is like the best classic of how to find it. There's nothing better than it in the Bible. There's nothing that beats this story in the Bible of how to find properly a life partner. All right, great.
And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven, and the God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, Peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest? And Abraham said unto him, Beware that thou bring not my son thither again. The Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house, and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that sware unto me, saying, Unto thy seed will I give this land, he shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. And if the woman...
Can you imagine? Huh? Is this what is happening in our lives, brothers? Do your parents even have this type of share in making sure that you get a wife? Huh? Do they even have a say? Huh? You will come back with the hair, isn't it? And show them. You understand? Eh? Look at what they are doing. Is Isaac even in the picture? Does Isaac even know here? No. Isaac does not even know that the father and his servant are discussing him. You understand? Eh? All right. Verse 8.
And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath.
You can just tell from here, eh? God does not want a husband to be married. Eh? It's the husband who marries. Ne? Hey, there are some men who are married. You are at your mother-in-law, ne? That's where your house is, actually. Your wife, you did not take her, ne? She took you there. You understand? What they say at your mother-in-law happens in your house. Isn't it? Ne? Because you are not married, ne? She's not married to you. Ne? You went back. And what does Isaac say? And what does Abraham say? Never. Ne? That relationship rather not happen. You understand? Because they are going to corrupt that house. If a man is not able to lead his own family, he will be corrupted from that house. It's a greatest responsibility. That is why it requires men and women to do it, not children. Eh? A child will not be able to do these things. Of course, if you are going to marry Gundu, I'm going to control your house. Eh? I will be there, controlling everything that happens. You understand? Because this thing is a child. You understand? Eh? It's terrible, right? It's terrible. We need to understand this. Marriage is for mature people who understand what they're taking. There is a separation that must happen between family, between a man and his mother and his father, and a woman and a mother and a father. There is a separation. These two must become one family that must be able to stand on its own. You understand? So it's a responsibility that must be carried on your shoulders. You need to find a woman who will be able to do that, not a child at home who will still ask, Mama, I don't know what to do with the child. Mama, I don't know what should I cook for him? I don't know. Charity. You get it, ne? Marriage is not for what? Huh? Marriage is not for what? Oh. For kids, and you're one way, isn't it? You're still a child, eh? You're still a child, eh? A very childish child. You don't even know the Bible, isn't it? You understand, eh? So you're not even ready for these things, eh? Until you understand what you're doing. Yes, ma'am, continue.
And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath, only bring not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning that matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed. For all the goods of his master were in his hand, and he arose and went to Mesopotamia, unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city, by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham, because I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink, and she shall say, drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac. Thereby shall I know that thou hast shown kindness unto my master.
Yeah, I think wait there, ne? Listen carefully, ne? Who does the man consult? God. Ne? And listens to what he looks for in a woman. Does he say the most beautiful woman? No. Huh? No, ne? He said a woman who will be able, ne, that when I say give me water to drink, ne, and she will say I will give what also? Your camels. You understand? And you know how big a camel is, isn't it? Ne? That woman is a hard worker already. So a woman, ne, does not train for a husband by beautifying herself. Eh? She trains where? In working hard. Eh? You clean, man. You don't want to see dust where you are. You clean everything. You make sure things are fine. We don't find you idling, man. Your legs are up. You know, you just like relaxing. You're always on a chat room. You know, and you think you are this type of woman, and you are looking for a husband to do what with the family? That's robbery, okay? You want to have a family, you don't know how to cook. When we eat your food, then we don't know what are we eating today. You understand? It's very terrible. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. It's serious. Because you need to understand what you are doing. This woman was a hard worker. He looked for a hard worker, someone who will be able to take care of strangers and be nice to people. Not someone who's forever angry, man. This woman does not want anyone near anyone, man. She's just crazy. Her mind is always angry. This person is always angry. And you think she's going to make a happy home. When she speaks, you wish her mouth could shut up, because the things that are going to come out of the mouth are vile. She does not know how to speak well with other people. Just simple communicating with others. Here, shows that this person is not a woman. I mean, she's not afraid to answer adults, like she's answering a nobody. Huh? She can't be stopped. You know the quotation that means her head red. She's headstrong. She can't be stopped. When she wants to do something, she does it without any restraint. If you say that path you are on is wrong, she's going to call you all manner of names. You understand? You know this type of a woman is not even ready for marriage. She is still a demon that needs to be exorcised. We need to be very careful, brothers and sisters. We cannot allow ourselves to have this type of things. And then, let's read verse, we're in 15, but I want us to, we're in 14. Okay, read 15 then.
And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, and the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. And the servant ran to meet her and said, Let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, Drink, my lord. And she hasted and let down her pitcher upon her hand and gave him drink. And when she had gone giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also, until they have done drinking. And she hasted and emptied the pitcher into the trough and ran again unto the well to draw water and drew for all his camels.
You must just see it here. This person, you don't even, if you say this person is lazy, don't think, hope for miracles when you get home. You see this person is lazy. Did this man ask for much? He said, give me a what? A little water. Some of you, if you are cleaning and I walk in, hey, I will finish it, man. Don't you see that I'm cleaning here? Can't you see I'm cleaning? You're cleaning again, dusty, you're filling this whole place, man. You're getting ready. I will feel yeah, we should have stayed outside. You are a razor, as you are. When we think of asking you something, our heads must crack first. Because we know we are not going to just go there and pass unhindered. You understand? That's very terrible. You are not the type of woman that deserves to run a family. If you don't have hospitality, if you can't be able to handle things and do small departments, you are given a kitchen and you are failing to do it. You are given something, clean dishes, and they break all of them. Your mind is not there in these things that you are doing. It shows that you are not fit as a woman to be married. And a husband who can't even handle something small, man, just to fix a door handle, it's like something out of this world. You don't know what to do. You understand? It shows that you should not be trusted in running a family because you can't even be able to run small things that you are given. You don't have any industry that you are able to do perfectly. Even missionary work, you are not even able to do missionary work. You are a missionary, but when you are here, you have no target, you have no souls that you want to win, you have nothing to do. Missionary work to you is just something that you do to pass time or to give glory to yourself. You understand? That I'm a missionary, but the work has no value with you. It's very sad. It's very sad. Now, this is what I want you to see again. What happens after this man discovers this is the man for my husband, for my Lord? When you in verse what?
I am at verse 20.
You're in verse 20. Who did I say will read first, second? Mrs. Ndawane? Mrs. Balot? Oh, sorry. Mrs. Balot.
Verse 21. And the man wondering at her, and the man wondering at her held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of half a shekel weight, and 2 bracelets for her hands to 10 shekels weight of gold, and said, Whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. She said moreover unto him, We have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in. And the man bowed down his head and worshipped the Lord. And he said,
and many people think that was paying the reward. No, the man, isn't it? They used to pay in what? In these things, you understand? It was just payment for the work that she had done. You understand? It had nothing to do with her. And then he asked her, hey, whose daughter are you? You understand? It's not, can I have you? Whose daughter are you? He wants to know the background of what? Of the family. He must go to the family. And they went to the family even. And she says, he even says, is there food for us? There. She says, yeah, even for your camels also. Everything is there. Hospitality is the nature of the house. If Ellen White says, you must look at the family that you're about to unite yourself with. And the nature of that family. If those people are, hey, before a plate gets out, it must be counted, man. My food, man. People are finishing my food. We're finishing my food. Everyone is just finishing my money. Everyone is just finishing my things. These people are finishing everything. You know, man. Before you do something for someone, you should know you're in trouble, my brothers. My money that I've worked hard for. You know how much I work hard for that money? You can't be able to take it. People come from another church to yours. It's a problem. Have you been in churches where you come and they watch you and they leave? They don't even care what you're going to eat. And then you want to take that as a wife. It will not work, It will not work. She must be given to hospitality. The family must be. Ellen White says it's not that the family must be a good family, all of it, but you must have some idea, because what you are going to make is a reflection of that family. And also the husband as well, how he treats his mother, isn't it? How he treats his mother, you should always be able to know those things. How this man treats his mother is how he's going to treat you. So different. If he does not take care of her, he cares nothing about her, it's like she does not exist. You will not exist as well. You will not exist as well. But if he is loving, caring to his mother, you know he's going to be loving and caring to you. There is no miracle that converts someone at the altar, brothers and sisters. The altar does not convert a person, and all of a sudden he begins to be this caring husband. Even if you could lay hands on him, it will not change him. It will not change him. Okay, let's read. Where we in verse 21, 22? Huh?
26.
Yes, Yeah, 27.
And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who hath not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master Abraham. And the dazzler ran and told them of her mother's house these things.
Yeah. So you see that you will finish up the rest. You will finish up the rest on your own. That woman, as soon as the man realized, he praised God because he knew this is a woman. I must win her. It doesn't matter what. This one is the woman, and we must go back home with her. Are you that type of woman, man? Are you even of that age that you will be willing to leave your father's house and leave and go with? You understand? You want to say something, Paul? Okay. Yes. Let's start with Tabo. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, it's a question. I hope we're learning to apply this thing. So we are not coding the code for nothing. So from this verse that you read at the beginning, you said this is the example how the thing is supposed to be done. So here the Bible is talking only about Abraham, not Sarah in the future. So it means that is the father only who's supposed to know this thing. What is your father is coming from Babylon?
Yes.
How will you know that is this a good wife or else is the one of them? That's the question that I'm posing to you.
Yes, yes. Amen. Eh? Yeah. That's a good question. You see? So, in simple terms, Tawo is not fit to marry. Eh? I'm just joking. But, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Eh? Let's give him an answer. Let's give him an answer. If he comes from an unconverted family, the parents are Babylonians, what should we do? And let's say the wife as well comes from an unconverted family, né? What should they do? Yes?
We believe that the church is a family. So, if your family is in Babylon, the church is a family. So if there's an elder in the church, you can approach the elders.
You are using vendor. He's using vendor this one. Is it in vendor? Ne? Yeah, we want the. Let's answer biblically. Yeah, but it's correct. But I want it to come from inspiration. You understand? Yes. Yes, my
From the side of the family, and then let's leave it from the side of the church. Because now the parents are not under the church. Now let's leave the side of the church. Let's face the reality. There at home, because we met such a situation whereby now a brother was already converted and he wants to get married. Now, to the side of the lady, the parents said no, we need now to slaughter a goat for you to celebrate that before we can take you out. And the boy said, no, we are not doing that, no longer doing the slaughtering. They said, no, you can't take our daughter. Okay. Before slaughtering.
Okay. Before we get, this is before we get there. You understand my head? This is before we get there. Ne? Do you get what he said? Yes. But this is before, Tawo is asking before we get there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk. Sister Nunzikele. Yes.
Am I going to answer the question?
Yes. You don't know?
I don't have a correct answer.
Huh?
I don't have a correct answer.
Okay. Sister No?
No, probably going to say what the brother said.
Okay. Listen up. Okay. All right. Let's leave you. Let's forgive you. Hey, why are we quiet, brethren? We don't want to be married, eh? That's good. To praise the Lord for such a reformation. Eh? Anyone? Anyone to answer?
That's the question.
My God, you answer. You answer. Eh? Kumo?
There's a verse, I just don't know it. It says that those who are in the same faith with, they are my brothers and my brothers. That's when Jesus was speaking, when his mother and his brothers wanted him to come. So which means you can approach the mothers and your brothers who need to be in the same thing, which means you can approach mothers who believe in the presence for them to approach.
Godly mothers, isn't it? Ne? Godly mothers and godly fathers in the church. You understand? Ne? Even where that person comes from, isn't it? When they are connected with the church, they are with a godly family. Mara Ellen White must tell us what to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ne? There is a quotation that tells us exactly what we need to do in such situations. You understand? Ne? We are not left as orphans, isn't it? God is so fair that He understands our circumstances and He has already addressed those things on how we can deal with them.
But I think you should search it out, ne? Yes. Unless if everyone needs to know. Huh? Yeah, you will search it out. Any other? There was another hand. Who? Oh yeah, start.
Yes, I wanted to add the next. Proverbs 18. And to add on Genesis 24. And the right principle, the example that we gave. So in Proverbs 18, reading verse 22. It reads, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. So, this scripture, and many people they abuse it, and today I've learned and I understand to say, and indeed, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Then, what kind of wife that the Bible is talking about here? And some of us who have wives, right? We have wives, we're in the marriage, and we might think that we will find a good wife, a good thing, as a blessing from God. But what kind of wife that the Bible is talking about? Then when you read Proverbs 31, this is a wife that God blessed with. Proverbs 31, reading from verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of the husband doth safety trust in her, so that he shall have no need of for each one. If you read the whole until the end of this chapter.
I was wondering whether you want to read the whole of it. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you read here, you will see a true woman here. This is the woman that God says, when you find that woman, you are favored with God. But the women that we have today, who are not having this characteristics or characters here, that woman is not a blessing from God. It's a blessing from Satan, if I can put it like that. Like as they explained, you find this woman is a cruel woman. She don't love others. I don't know how to explain. That woman, she's not a hard worker, she's a lazy woman. And you said, I found a favor from God, not a favor from God. That woman is a favor from Satan. The Bible is clear here.
Yes, what?
Yeah, I wanted to read the quote and also comment on the, was it a question? I think so, no? It's in Adventist Doctrine 293, paragraph 3. That says, when children have unbelieving parents and their commands contradict the requirements of Christ, then, painful though it may be, they must obey God and trust the consequences with Him. When God took the children of Israel out of Egypt, they came out with the Egyptians that God called the mixed multitude, and He says they must not marry them because He wanted them to have a pure nation of the Israelites. But if someone is coming from the unbelieving background, it means that Christian principles must not be compromised, so that we can have what? Your children must have Christian parents. That's actually the point that I'm trying to say. To say it is unfortunate that you might be coming from a non-Adventist family, but you should make it a point that your children must come from a Christian family. Because when you compromise, there's a possibility that your children also will come from a mixed multitude family.
And it's very, that is very clear. We can't go evangelizing here. And then you convert a lady, she understands the Sabbath. And then you like her. Before she even understands anything, she was already your girlfriend. You understand? Because you have hindered the growth of that person, as Brother Walter is saying. God never required that the children of Israel must marry the mixed multitude. Did the mixed multitude convert in leaving Egypt? Yes. Ne? But they were not fully converted. You understand? Ne? Their principles, their habits of things, their lust for the flesh of Egypt, the things were still in them. You understand? Ne? So they needed time for growth. And God allowed that after the what? Is it the third generation what? I think it's the third generation. Ne? What you're talking about, that's when they could be assimilated into Israel. You understand? Ne? Hey, so God did not really require that you should marry an Egyptian too quickly. You would be marrying mixed multitude. A person who still struggles to keep the Sabbath whole. A person who still finds it hard, just to do simple things, not to have makeup. It's like, I don't have makeup. You understand? Something so general, is a mountain to that person. And you hinder the progress of that person if you propose marriage to them before they are even converted. You understand? So we must allow growth in people. Must allow growth in people. Should not just grab as soon as they arrive. A woman I know did exactly that, and grabbed a Babylonian when they just arrived. And they are now out of the church, both of them. Yes. It's a hand,
Yeah, it's a hand.
Okay.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 25. Now, this was when, let me read it from verse 23. In those days,
and we must finish,
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yes, I see the time is just
I'm not gonna take time.
slithering into the night, and those who are health reformers are already angry.
Okay, it reads, in those days also I saw a Jew that had married the wives of Ashdod and Ammon and Ammon. And the children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each person. And I contended with them and cast them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, You shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourself. Which means, when Nehemiah find this guy, these people that married outsiders, he cursed them and took them, told them, I don't want you to take your children and bring them in the tribe of Israelites. Tell them to marry with believers, because they don't know how to. They don't know how to study the Bible on their own, because they are not learning the language of the Jews. They're not learning the language of God, that God has intended them to learn to understand the Bible. So God was putting them away from the tribe of the Israelites. So which means today as well, we are not allowed to intermarry with non-believer. And the other one that we have just spoken about, it when in your relationship you need to be in contact with the parents. It's one of the most important thing that God has given us. It's not only God it's not an intention of scaring us or anything else. It's for our own benefit. In such a way you will learn how does the person relate to his or her family, because it will enable you to see where you will be going. It reveals your future with that particular person. Am I making the right decision? Is this the right person or not? So it's one of the crucial points that I will think that we should reconsider thinking about it. When I want to jump into this, I need to be able to be in contact with the parents of that particular person. It's one of the things that is crucial for our marriage for tomorrow.
So, can I ask you a question? Is it possible to meet a boyfriend at a restaurant?
No.
What about at the playground? Huh? Or even at church? on the Sabbath, you just meet your husband. No. Because these things is a plan. It's something that you must get into with the Lord. It's not something that you just get into haphazard. You can't come back home with a boyfriend and you left without that intention. You understand? By the time you go home, right now you came for a mission camp, and when the time you go home, when you have a husband here, you are building on sand, you are building on prostitution. It's only prostitute that you can go out there and get them as quick as possible. Because you just go there and say, I want to sleep with you. How much? And then they say 10 rand. Okay, fine, let's go. You understand? That's a prostitution at the softer level because you don't pay man, but it's the same thing. You understand? You can't just get here and you meet a nice, fair-looking sister and then you think all is well. You understand? You don't know anything about that person. You can't just do that. It's not going to work. I hope this is clear, brethren. These are your sisters. They're not wise yet, as yet. You understand? We are here to learn about God and understand His truths. While you are still discovering God and His truths, the devil partners you with a woman. He knows you are dead. You will never go forward. Are you fine? Martin, are you fine? Any addition? You understand? Okay. You want to add? I think we will add. I still have another study that we're going to do on Thursday. Or is it on Friday? We will do it then. We will end it here. Is there any other comment